It's nice.
Peaceful.
It's very nice.
That
Reminds me of
calming.
those caves, those crystal caves in Minecraft Vault Hunters.
Nice.
The crystal caves.
Welcome to the Hat Chat podcast with your three hosts, the same every time.
Same guys. We haven't changed.
Same ones.
We don't have a guest this week. It's just us. Sorry.
If you want to know what our names are, maybe look at another episode.
Yeah.
How about that?
Oh.
How about that?
Just doubled
really?
our views.
Just
No
double our
way.
views.
Just doubled
Easy.
it like that.
That's marketing.
There's going to be way more great marketing tips this podcast. If you're looking for a way to break into the podcasting world, just do it. It's
You're in the right place.
Yeah, just you can do it. It's free. I can't guarantee listeners though.
Everyone's got a podcast nowadays.
Everyone has,
Well,
yeah. Do you think we should change our style? Or do you think we're fine with hypotheticals?
We should probably change it.
Should we do... I mean, we've talked about dog shit a lot. We could just literally just talk about that. That could be the topic.
That could be our focus.
So it's just like,
What would we call
how
it?
much shit to...
Red bin?
Shit.
Red bin. Totally red bin.
Red bin, yeah.
Yeah, it's like being red pill.
Yeah, but
red
it's
bin.
just all
It's
about the dog shit bin.
Dog shit, yeah. And about how you can find a lot of
But
like.
you don't find many red bins. Oh, in the woods and stuff, sure.
Where do you sling yours? In the river?
Oh, and I just toss them like openly into traffic, over hedges. It's like I won't seal the bag either. I want to make sure that comes out.
That's the upside of
I
owning a
colander
dog.
my bags.
Yeah.
You colander your bags.
Yeah, so you poke little
push them
tiny
through,
holes.
Oh wow.
I've got a hot tip, and listener, get ready to write this one down. If you go to like B&Q and like all the the home improvement stores just after fireworks night, you can buy cheap fireworks, and I stuff dog shit in the end of fireworks.
Amazing.
And then as they go up into the air in my neighborhood,
And everyone looks up,
and
don't
it
they?
goes everywhere. Dog shit in a firework is a classic
Is it
prank.
raining? I'm not sure if it's raining. I thought it was a clear night.
Yeah.
But no, there's dog shit in my eyes, and I have an infection.
We've
No, it
only
won't
just
change.
hit like the first 2-minute mark, and already you've got some fantastic tips
There you go.
that you can walk away with today
How
and
to deal.
set up your own podcast and fireworks.
I do think a refreshed format would be a good idea, though. I think that sometimes. I'm like, we've been doing this for ages now.
Wow.
128
128.
episodes.
Like, and
Episodes.
I know we're really funny, but
Yeah.
What better way to
but like I
mix it
do
up?
feel like we may have
Wow.
got a lot of the funny out of the hypothetical format, you know?
Our hypotheticals I mean, we could make them more just would you rathers, and then really go down the rabbit hole. We did some of those in our recent recording.
Those get
There's-
really gross though,
yeah.
because we just
Well,
compete to make
would
the
you,
other person.
I think the would you rather what was the one I said yesterday? Would you rather?
No, don't bring it up again.
Why not?
Because it was like something really crass, like just like
Oh, it was yeah. Would you
Fuck
like?
your own
Would you
mother.
rather fuck your own mum once,
Yeah.
or your parents have to watch you have sex every time you have sex?
yeah, I'd take the latter. What?
So you're letting them watch you? You would?
Yeah.
But you can get rid of that. You can stop that from.
Or was it every time though?
Every
It
single
is every
time.
single time. No, I don't think
Unless
I could
you're just
deal
a one
with
and
the
done
trauma
of them watching
doing
it.
it once.
Yeah. I mean, neither.
And they can always
I
close
mean,
their eyes.
I mean,
True.
like,
But are they in the room like sat? I don't really know the parameters of how.
All
they're
I'm
watching.
saying is I
Well, if
don't-
it's a
I don't-
CCTV camera, I wouldn't
I
mind
feel like
that.
after a while they'd be so.
Would you mind as much? I think I wouldn't
and
mind
also
as
they
much.
can like blink loads to.
I would
reduce the
tell them
amount
to
of
look
frames.
away. I mean,
It's like stop motion.
there's in this scenario, there's
watching
no
Wallace and
agency
Gromit.
from them whatsoever. They are watching you, regardless, out of choice, I guess. Anyway,
I feel like Sigmund Freud having like a whole theory about like
fucking your own mother.
kind of says
Oedipus.
something about the psychological impact of doing something like that would have, and I think I'd rather avoid that and just
Say
deal
that
with a
to the
little bit.
Midwest in America.
What do you mean?
What?
What do you mean? Midwestern America?
What was the target there?
He doesn't know. He just said something. And
No.
What do you
He's
mean?
got-
Yeah. Of incest.
A lot of incest.
This is true. You don't have to have sex in this
It's
scenario.
deep south. Not
What if it's just
that's
every time
about-
you wank?
The South, not the Midwest.
Is that what? That's
Yeah.
not. Is that as bad?
Huh?
Every time you wank, rather than having sex,
What about it?
your mum's in the room.
Yeah, that's a lot less weird.
That's.
Of the three options, I'd take that one.
I don't know if it is less weird. It's still bad. There
like
you are,
you're
just
go- you're-
rosy red face,
like,
punching your
change
dick.
the person to like anyone else, and it's still weird because it's
Yeah,
like you've just
okay.
always got this presence there, haven't you? Like, I think that's the problem. It's not that you necessarily.
I feel like that's something
it's
you
your
could,
mum that's
you could
the
get
problem
used
here.
to, though. You know?
You can be like, all right, I'm about to knock on it. I know why you're here.
You'd have a really.
Oh, you've
horrible
turned up, have
way.
you? God, you know you've read my mind. I'm about to have a wank.
Also, what about like the
Schedules.
logistics?
The logistics of it.
Yeah,
exactly.
it's like, oh God, you're on holiday this week. This means Yeah, you're gonna have to come back a bit early because we're planning on having sex next week, and we're gonna need you in the room.
This is the thing. This is why it's look. If we start picking holes in it, we're realizing that it's completely impossible. It's implausible. You can't just. No one's schedule lines up like that. And also,
scheduling.
You'd be like, oh, well, they're in a different
yeah.
country. I'm gonna fucking start banging one out now. And it's
Yeah.
like you're fine then. Or are you? Maybe there's a camera in the room. You don't know, but that's better than them being in the room.
I don't feel like you're going to reason your way out of this quickly.
Is there a...
Fine. I'm fucking your mum.
I'm trying to
Does
read...
that help? Does that work?
No.
Trying to read between the lines here.
Fuck.
You want to shift up the format of Hat Chat, and then you bring up banging parents.
Would you rather? Bang. No.
Sounds
yeah.
like you've got a lot to get off your chest.
I'm
Yeah.
just saying.
And there's a
Just saying,
podcast for it.
Well, which one's this one?
The one that we're going to shift into.
Oh,
Red bin.
okay.
Red
binned.
bin.
Red binned.
Or how about... Now, this is a wild new format.
Yeah.
We take unsolved cases
Right.
and we try and solve them as non-experts.
But that's
or
probably
create
being
a story
done
that makes sense.
everywhere.
Create an alternative story
mean it's
that
been
has
done
no
everywhere?
bearing on the facts.
Just like completely remove any kind of like
Yeah.
fascination from like a
All
Netflix
right,
documentary.
okay.
Just dull it down to like
Yeah.
actually the reality is they probably
another
just
niche.
Disappeared in the river recently. Bog snorkeling.
bog snorkeling. They were obviously looking for pennies on the bed.
Clearly, they were an ancient coin
Yeah.
collector.
They popped their phone down, left their dog, and said, "Look, I see a penny," and went in.
He was having an illicit relationship with a river vole.
Yeah. Now, did they actually solve that?
What?
The recent thing, the Nicola
No.
Bully thing.
No.
They didn't solve it, as in like why.
Well, it's not been solved. I mean, it's not.
Again,
Should we put conspiracy? Should we do a conspiracy theory podcast? Those seem to be popular.
Let's just copy what all of the chads do.
Which what? Okay.
You know, like the classic podcast Chad, where you're
Sure.
like, oh, I'm imagining a podcast in my head. For me, originally, I would imagine like,
Joe
you know,
Rogan.
quite bookish people, like having
Oh.
a chat, having a coffee. But then the reality is the vast amount of social media posts I see about podcasts are usually like a very similar groups of people, one of which is bizarrely common, is the Chadcaster. You know, like the guys that are like, I do hot and cold plunges all the time. I only eat organ meat. You know, those guys. I don't know about Joe Biden, man. He's too old. He is too old. Yes,
Where
the
are you
alternative
seeing
was an absolute
these
nutcase.
advertised?
The social media that I interact with. You know, I'm talking about the fact that like Joe Rogan podcast is like still the biggest podcast in the world.
Yeah.
That's what I
Big.
mean by a Chadcaster. These guys that like you wouldn't necessarily imagine if somebody pitched the idea of a podcast at you, you would really imagine doing it. You know, like sitting down and recording their conversations. I mean, maybe I say you,
there
me.
was probably a time where Joe Rogan sounded like someone that genuinely wanted to improve his knowledge
Right.
on things, and
Yeah.
he
Is
sounded
that what
like
his
he
podcast
was.
is about?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
well,
guess
yeah.
He does talk to a lot of
He had a lot of interesting guests back in the day, and he's just become more and more of a massive bigot and like rightist. I don't know what he is, but very misinformed, very sure of himself.
But that's what comes.
Podcaster.
That's what comes with success. That's the problem.
Yeah.
It's that's the problem with like most billionaires as well. Is that like at that point you're just like, well, why the fuck? Why would I listen to anyone else? You know, why wouldn't I just say my will or my way of thinking and just go fuck you if you don't think it, because I have all the power, because I have lots of money. You know, like
Well, these are great ideas that we should bring up to our board members.
yeah.
Oh, true. Yeah, we should.
For mixing up the Hat Chat podcast. If you don't know, and you're a Patreon supporter, we actually do what's called a board members meeting.
Yeah.
Where we kind of talk about all the content that we're planning on doing or thinking about doing, and we take on board your ideas. The most recent one, in fact, was our Pancake Day video.
Yeah.
Which, again, we had a back and forth with our board members, which is you guys, because you have an active financial investment in us. And that was the most voted on idea.
I was surprised
and we
at how it came
executed
out. I was when I saw those little toys on the floor. My heart sank a little bit. No, I just wasn't sure how we were going to film that to make that look funny, but it worked. It was actually good. It was good.
I think that there's a couple
And the
of
drone
those
was-
key like psychic hooks, those mental hooks in there. Like people just love little remote control toys. You know, it's just something
Childhood fascination.
Exactly. You're
also
like,
logistics as well. There's something
yeah,
fascinating about
totally. Moving
logistics.
stuff around, doing
Yeah.
something. When you have a toy as a kid, you tend to want to like, you know, dig in a sand pit with it, or like, I don't know about you, but like we used to go to the beach and used to think like, man, we dig these big holes at the beach, you know, like digging. And I'm like,
Till you find a body.
Imagine what I could do with like an excavator, you know, like I don't know.
Have you ever buried yourself down like up to your neck?
Well, yes.
Yeah.
Standing or laying down?
All sorts. I always
standing.
Oh yeah,
I was
that's a
scared.
deep hole. But you get to a point where it's just
hard.
wet, so wet that
Yeah.
it's like, I'm not getting through this.
Yeah, I watched a few of those 999 episodes
classic.
where like kids had dug like tunnels in the beach and then they'd collapsed on them. Like I saw those early in my childhood.
Started coming in.
My nan didn't control much of what I watched on Sky Television, and alongside
Damn it,
a
Nan.
fascination with sci-fi that bred from watching things like Voyager and Stargate,
Farscape.
and Farscape, I also bred an acute fear of ghosts from like those ghost shows, you know, like those
paranormal.
whatever
It was.
What the fuck was it called?
Strange but True.
Strange but True. Yes, that's it.
And that was my other podcast idea.
Where's
It's
that?
Unsolved Ghost Mysteries.
Yeah.
Unsolved Ghost Mysteries.
I think there are not many of them out there, and I think we could fill that niche.
Yeah. There's
there loads out there?
There's so many ghost
I would struggle 'cause I
solving,
just don't-
ghost hunters.
Yeah. Do you have to believe to talk about
What
that
about
shit?
if it's 3 skeptics
Skeptics, yeah.
tackle every ghost conspiracy?
Nobody wants to.
If
skeptics
so, you don't
don't
want to listen to
skeptics.
someone.
It should need a back and forth.
Because like everyone, you'd be preaching to.
you need someone that's scared. You need a Craig in your scenario for it to work.
Yeah.
No, ghosts.
We'll do actual ghost hotels and stuff,
Yeah.
like in real life videos.
Or we could, just try and trap pedophiles. That's the other one.
Hunt them
What,
down.
vigilante?
Yeah,
Or just-
vigilante pedophile hunters.
Just do it.
Who's going to be the
Do
chat,
the podcast.
chat room
That's what I mean.
stooge?
On the podcast, maybe you're chatting on the podcast to these perverts.
Oh
you're
my
luring them in.
god,
Hey,
No, that's a terrible idea.
that's a really
Oh
bad
my
idea.
god, I was
Giving
like,
them a platform.
I'm kind of joking, but like because it's like it's a thing, right?
there's a fascination.
These
in, like,
pedophile hunters.
what they're going to say? Well, yeah, because they haven't technically
Like-
done anything yet, but they
Yeah.
have said that they were going to do some fucking.
Would it be weird
rough
to
shit.
call ourselves pedo predators?
I don't.
Because then we're a predator.
It'd be funny to brand it badly.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But
You
there is
know,
already a
like-
hunter out there. He makes videos on it all the time, and then everyone's like criticizing him because obviously like it kind of messes up with the evidence. But then anyone who does get like time, it's like a couple of weeks or
Yeah.
something.
Do you know what's better than the law? 3 guys that don't know the law.
Yeah,
Because it's weird because obviously like shit like
predators.
to predators.
Hey, we're from Predator and Predators.
We prey on predators. Okay.
It's an idea.
It's a weird, strange idea. I mean, it's dark.
I don't like confrontation though, so I don't really
Yeah,
want to
neither do
talk
I.
to...
Yeah, these guys are pussies. Like, have you seen any of these videos? Honestly, they melt the moment you mention it. The camera's on them. Oh no! There's a one where it was a guy. Have you seen? Shit! What's the film? Sin City.
What if you come up against one that isn't a pussy? Are you like, I'm out?
Take a knife,
Yeah.
just in
This
case.
guy comes out and says, I spent 18 years in prison. I'm 6'9". I'm huge and I like kids. Oh God.
Fuck!
You're a
Jesus
monster.
Christ,
This
yeah.
is our biggest fear.
Like sometimes my friends in the police force tell me stories about how it takes like 5 of them to take a guy down because not
in
only
general, yeah. Like when
not-
you've seen any of these things, it is.
Yeah.
Like, it's if they fight back and they're big, like what the fuck.
you've got like you got regular people, right? Policemen
UK
don't-
police as well look
Yeah.
like worried all the time. And it's like, like especially if there's like a group of youths, so to speak.
Because you would be like, well, what
'cause
the
they-
fuck's going to happen to me
Yeah.
here? You know, it's not like they get some sort of hero's payoff. They don't. Like,
No.
you know.
That's a big one to catch. I'm going to get a pay, like fishing.
Just like back up. I need back up now.
Oh, sorry, mate. There's only 3 officers in the entire county right now because
Yeah.
there's no fucking money. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I'll just try and hit him with my car before I get.
That would be an
Fucking hell.
interesting concept if you could
Yeah.
you get more pay for bringing down bigger people.
But that's yeah.
It's the old sheriff style.
Is
The old bounty hunter.
That's all they do in
style.
America.
Yeah.
They get raises when they start. Like, is it quota based?
I don't know.
I know. Obviously,
I don't know.
their prison system's fucked in terms of that is quota based. They're trying to fill prisons because it's private,
Everyone's prison
remember?
systems are fucked.
Yeah,
I mean, there is that
privatised.
whole like commercialization of prisons going
Yeah.
on in the US, but like I don't think ours are any better.
I
to be
don't know,
honest.
but we
all
can
right.
always say things.
How
Denmark
about-
looks nice though. Norway's prison systems. I go on
Fields.
holiday
Just
there.
hang
If I
out
was to
in
go
fields.
to prison, I would go to a Scandinavian
You don't get
prison.
Things are
choice.
getting so bad in the UK.
You don't get a choice.
that-
You mean do a crime?
I would have to do a crime there.
Do a
obviously.
crime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a good idea, right? Energy bills are going up. Like the
Well,
UK
imagine-
living standards are going down. It's like it will be like going on holiday to go to prison in Scandinavia at this point.
In some, yeah.
I wouldn't want to get arrested in Japan
Oh, what do they do in
because
Japan?
you just get detained.
Yeah.
Like they are really strict on a lot of rules and regulations.
What do you think they do here? They just let you go out for a bit?
Yeah, but like there's really strict like rules and laws and stuff.
Oh, you mean there's a high risk of being arrested in Japan?
And if you were arrested, you're just gonna go to jail.
Yeah.
Like the court case is probably gonna not go in your favor.
Really?
And you're gonna stay there and do some time.
Yeah.
Over something quite trivial in your.
What would you do? What crime would you commit?
Piss in the street or something.
Street pissing.
Street pissing.
Street
Jaywalker.
pissing.
What'd you get for that?
Steal a bike.
Slap on the wrist.
I don't know if jaywalking. I don't know.
Jaywalking. Do we have that here? Is that a
No,
thing?
not
So
really.
you would just walk into the roads openly and that's fine. I mean, it's risky.
It is.
I wouldn't do it.
No, I don't think it's as criminal as it used to be. Anyway, let's move on to our actual voted
yes.
on.
No, but you seem to know a lot about what's going on in Japan. Have you
I
thought about
don't.
doing crime in Japan or something?
No, I've just watched a lot of like, what's his name? Chris Abroad.
Chris Abroad.
Yeah, Chris Broad.
Is that you
Chris
abroad?
It's me,
Chris-
but abroad.
Abroad.
It's right. I only watches channels that have
Abroad Chris.
a guy called Chris doing something. Chris does crafting. Oh, so I can watch this
Let's
one.
see what's in the Chris meta today.
What are my Chris's
How
up
many
to?
Chris's?
Yo, shout out to all those Chris's out there.
He's a good content creator, probably because of the first name, and it's very interesting, insightful. Because like Japan always interests me.
Yeah, totally.
As a culture and a place to like visit. Apparently, not very good to like try and live as
Really?
a Westerner.
Oh.
Like really hard to get
It's crack it.
integrated into the work. Like you're just always considered as a foreigner that's not going to be here for very long,
Right.
and like social circles and cliques and stuff is hard to get.
Yeah, I can see that.
I'm generalizing, but
No, I can totally see it. I've watched a little bit of it as well, and like you say, it's all secondhand, like because I've only watched stuff and never been there either. But I can see that from like the culture.
It's hard to get all your information just from Chris's in Japan.
That must be difficult.
How many Chris's
Yeah. I've
Tiny
expanded
lens.
How
to
many
other
Chris's are in
names.
Japan at
Yeah.
any given time? You don't,
Yeah.
I mean, there can't be many. A handful.
Yeah,
Well, I love
a
to
handful of Chris's.
That's the podcast name. The new podcast.
This
is-
week, we've derived all of the
following
information about the
Chris,
outside world, but just using guys called Chris.
Each episode is a new Chris.
Yeah.
And it's just like, we're following this Chris today. What's he up to in Japan?
God.
That's another novel podcast.
80 episodes in, and we're like really scraping the bow for Chris's.
Yeah. Ooh.
We follow Chris.
We're following Chris Martin of Coldplay.
Oh no.
What's he up to?
Oh.
We've just got criminals or washed up celebrities left.
Washed
Yeah.
up. Do you think he's still washed?
No, I wasn't saying specifically.
What's the worst Chris you can think of? Chris Benoit.
Chris Benoit was a pretty big.
Hard to get in an interview.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Worst Chris you can think
I'm
of.
trying
right
to think
now.
of what's worse than Chris Benoit.
Equally,
Chris.
think of the
Dude killed
worst
his
Ross
entire
and the
fucking
worst
family.
Alex.
Oh.
Ross.
There's probably a Russian Alexander that probably did some awful
There's
shit.
so many Alexes.
Alexander Kalashnikov.
I don't know many Rosses.
Who is the worst?
Ross. What's the worst Ross?
Kemp.
Ross.
Oh, come on. Jeez, I don't know many Ross.
That's a struggle.
So I know Ross, the guy, Jonathan Ross.
Jonathan
Does it?
Sure.
That's his first name. Huh?
He's just a presenter.
What are the worst Rosses out there, guys? Think of them.
No one's
Ross Kemp from Friends.
Ross Kemp.
Literally have two Rosses. Ross from
Ross
Friends
Kemp.
and Ross Kemp.
Rossier. Somebody said Ross is pretty bad right now.
Ross,
If you change the U, you're only
Yeah.
one letter away.
Rossier.
Guess is Ross quite a unique?
Let's get to
name?
the goddamn
How have we
hypothetical.
never done a strategy game in the past where you haven't named something Rossier? Oh man, we've missed an opportunity there. Like the Civ games we played in the past, all like those kind of 4X games.
It's not.
It's genius.
It's not that good.
It's absolute, pure, unadulterated.
It's really
genius.
not.
It feels like a stretch, even though it's one vowel different.
I can't turn any of my country names into Alex.
I feel like this is like
One of
there's
those
no
is a
X's.
really obvious one.
Name.
There's no X's in first names.
Someone's first name with an X in it.
Yeah.
Alex.
Rostralia's pretty good.
Not even a breath.
Australia,
No, that's good. And Ross Peru.
Rostria, like Austria.
Yeah. No,
Rostria.
again, these it's just bad
Yep.
puns. Anyway, let's go with the first.
Alexico. Like Mexico. Nice. Anyway, yeah, hypotheticals.
Okay, let's do. his
As
first
voted
one.
on by our patrons. Thank you, patrons.
Thank you.
I actually gave them a day early
That's good.
for the hypotheticals.
Aren't you generous?
Nice one.
More votes.
That's fantastic. That's
So
good.
this one is the most voted on, and I'm very disappointed that the one I really like is the least voted on.
Oh right, okay.
But I'm
well,
gonna mention it anyway. It's very
sure,
tiny
Okay.
That's fine.
because I'm biased.
Okay.
Sorry.
If kids shows were now rated TVMA, what is that
Mature.
in the UK? Just PG.
Just like 18
MA is an 18.
or 15 then 15.
Okay, I don't know.
Like after 9 o'clock, Watershed.
Right, okay.
No longer kid stuff, adult stuff.
So if kids shows were now rated TV MA, what would change? How popular would they end up being? Childhood shows are now adapted / reimagined to meet the maturity level of those who watched them when they were kids. What would change mostly about them? What would they end up delving into? Would they be hit or miss? Would you watch them? What would your expectations be? Well, first of all, what shows? Like,
I reckon Stacey Dooley would be having a serious sit down with Ash Ketchum about why he's imprisoning all these animals.
Oh,
and why he doesn't age.
Yeah. So Ash, you're still 13, and you've been keeping all of these animals in tiny balls.
I wouldn't mind a dark version of Pokemon where it's just like.
Sorry, mate. There's a Pokemon right there trying to get your attention.
Well, wait. Did you watch Detective? I never watched Detective Pikachu. Was it good?
Yeah, it's alright.
Yeah,
was
it
it dark in any way?
No, not really.
Was it still PG?
It's still quite like.
It's still very kiddie.
Jovial.
Yeah.
And Pokemon's not a bad thing to capture in a ball.
Shows.
I would like an adult
Rosie and
version.
Jim, but they're cursed and they're like kind of
Trapped in their bodies.
But they're fuck dolls. No. Rosie
but like,
and
where's
halfway
Jim.
through a big session,
Rosie
they
and
reach over and
Jim.
hold each other's hands. It's okay, Jim.
It's okay, Jim.
I'm always here.
He's back.
Somebody is railing Jim.
Rose and Jim is
Whatever the fuck, they're just fucking dolls. They're just rag dolls. Don't look at me.
Come on, man. You know why they call him a rag doll,
man. You
don't you?
spent too much time on this longboat, man.
I feel like we're of an age now where we have to provide context to our children's shows.
Rosie and Jim was
Yes.
two
Rosie and Jim was
puppets.
two
They may have
puppets
been
that
brother and sister. They
woke
may
up
have been lovers.
On a
They were
quaint
brothers
little
and
boat.
sisters. Were they?
They were brother and sister?
Well, I don't think they ever. Did they expand on their relationship?
And there was a
they
duck.
weren't fucking.
They were on a
They were,
boat,
they were
right?
never
What's
fucking-
that kind of boat called?
The old rag doll.
There was a
what's
That's
the
the song.
what's
Oh, it's a canal boat.
It's
canal
a little
boat.
canal boat.
Yeah.
Canal boat. There's
And they
there's
just
a barge.
It's like shitty
I said
Toy
longboat.
Story.
That's not right.
Shitty Toy Story.
Well, yeah,
See, Toy
kind of.
Story could be quite good as a dark.
The concept of like.
Well, they tried to do that
reality.
with the new Buzz Lightyear film, didn't they?
Oh,
where
really?
they made
Did
it
they?
like
I didn't watch
real.
it.
Well, they made it not about toys. They made it like an actual place.
Well, it's because it was based on, like the franchise Buzz Lightyear was based on a real person, right?
Yeah, or
And
it was
they
based on a
explored
TV
that.
show or something like
Right.
that. Yeah.
I've not seen it.
I've not seen it either.
No, I didn't bother watching it.
Okay, so to answer
Cool.
this,
Which makes it
To
really
answer this
hard to
question,
assess.
a lot of what I watched as a kid, stuff like Power Rangers.
Oh,
and
imagine like an adult Power Rangers. That would be cool.
But like, it kind of is. They fight, they transform, shit explodes. Like, how would you change it? Have more personal
You would just have
drama?
less of the, I mean, I don't know.
Holy shit, Tommy's got a drug addiction.
The cringe and that weird fucking, like, weird helmet person. Who
Yeah.
was like, what the helper of Zordon or whatever his name is. What is
Brian
it?
Cranston.
Brian Cranston. No. Brian Cranston was the head, right?
Oh.
Zordon.
Zordon.
No,
Zordon?
Oh, that thing. Yeah, all the hammy shit
That
would
thing
go.
needs to go.
That's the guy.
That
Or
would
it needs to
be
change to be like something a bit more sinister.
Somebody's hidden explosive inside that thing's head and they blow it up and that kills Zordon.
Yeah, you could have
Yeah.
some real
Crisis
mature
point.
like storylines.
Yeah,
in it.
terrorists.
Like that.
Moon terrorists have blown up Zordon. He's escaped. Now they're having to run around with like a vacuum cleaner to try and like suck him out of the air again because he's all like in gaseous form. Please, Rangers, I need a wank. Somebody, it's all about getting Zordon off. He's just been there
I'm just
gaseous.
ahead and I need sexual gratification.
Come on.
It's just,
You got 30 minutes to get it done.
oh my god.
Other kids shows that don't involve fighting.
Teletubbies.
How would you make Teletubbies more adult?
Dystopic alternate reality.
What did they do?
They live in
anyway?
bunkers.
Wait, what was an episode of Teletubbies?
Well,
What was the scenario? Did they just
Literally,
hang
they
around in a
just-
field?
Yeah, they like go dancing, and then the little vacuum thing kept sucking up their pancakes.
fuck, my pancakes! I wasn't done.
So I think there could be like a
I'm trying to think of what happened in those.
maybe
fucking
the
episodes.
whole series is them figuring out that they're in a set like Truman Show,
Yeah.
and then these
make it
captured
darker.
aliens.
I just think they should be killers. Yeah, they should be like feasting on like children or something. Or like that's why there's a baby in the sun or some shit.
Have you seen some of the like artwork out there of like fucked up Teletubbies, like real like Lovecraftian style Teletubbies? It's really cool.
I've seen gifs of them fucking.
Love what?
Using
Teletubbies?
the things on the top of their heads as various shaped sex toys.
Well, was it Dipsy with the long penis phallic shape?
Tell you what, they were dipping something.
Dip. Well, but Hey Arthur, but he's like a crack dealer.
What
He
like
doesn't have to be.
And that's what they say. That's
he's
his
the
drug
bad
line.
kid at
Yeah.
school.
You have to say, "Hey, Arthur."
Hey, DW, want some drugs?
He's the bad kid at school. I mean, yeah, he deals drugs. It's a bit like
I found Hey
Top
Arthur
Boy,
to be
but
quite
with Arthur.
dystopian. Not dystopian, just surreal.
Garbage.
Yeah.
It wasn't very good for such a like highly produced show. It's an American import. I'm guessing it was not very interesting, was it? It was just like,
Don't remember any episodes.
because I mean, well,
remember watching
Recess.
it. I
How
watched it.
Recess was good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Remember
I
Recess?
did like
That was a
Recess.
Nickelodeon show about kids at school, and it was actually all right.
Yeah.
Hey Arnold was even all right.
Hey Arnold, yeah.
Although that had some
Football.
really
I
weird.
reckon,
There was a sinister element to Hey Arnold.
Yeah.
I feel.
yeah,
Maybe
I
it was in
think
the animation style. I don't know.
It's like an urban school.
what if it's
like
real,
Real monsters.
but Hey Arnold has to deal
Real
with
Monsters
his
is so good.
actual shaped head like that. Everyone else is normal.
So it's real. It's a
but
real
he's,
life.
He's got a head that's
Yeah.
that shaped.
So the story is about his misshapen head.
and he's got to like go to the doctors because he's got like serious neck injuries
So it's
and
just
stuff
like
like that. And he has to be like held up.
But
by
is there a
his
story?
head.
But there's a story
Yeah.
behind it. It's not just,
just
like an
tragedy,
ableist
really.
story.
It's
of
a
just he's got a
tragedy.
big head. Let's laugh at him.
He's
It's
only
just
got
like-
a few
Yeah,
years
it's,
left
it's
to live.
him dealing with like bullying.
It's
and
tumors. It's all inoperable.
So it's like
tumors.
Elephant Man, but at school. Like
Yeah.
a teen,
Yeah.
teen Elephant Man.
Teen
Yeah.
Elephant Man, but Hey
Yeah,
Arnold.
and then he ends up killing Angelica. Is it Angelica? No, who's the one that used to bully him? But
with
fans
braces.
I think you're thinking of
Yeah.
Rugrats.
Yeah.
Rugrats again could
Same.
be.
There is one with
They're
blonde
grown up, maybe?
pigtails.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of Ursula.
Ursula.
Is it
that,
called?
that rings a bell.
Something along those lines. Helga, that was it.
Helga.
So Helga, he actually kills Helga.
She's a monobrow,
In the
right?
end,
And
yeah.
pigtails.
Yeah, Arnold becomes like an incel. He,
So it's an incel story.
he
I mean,
kills Helga because she bullies him all the time.
I got the impression that Arnold wasn't bothered.
No, because Helga actually fancies him, right? That's the
Well,
thing.
what's the grandpa doing?
Whatever the fuck he wants.
Because he was quite a big part in it, wasn't he?
Yeah. Did he live with his grandpa?
Yeah,
God,
I
it's
think
so
so.
long ago.
I
It's
can't
been a
remember.
while.
Yeah, I'm pulling back memories.
I
can't
really like the
remember.
Real Monsters one. That one would be
Where
again.
he's holding his eyes.
Yeah,
That's pretty creepy.
really cool. Really
if that
good
was
show.
done, if that was done in claymation, that would be fucking freaky. And if the stories were a bit more like, not Tim Burton-esque, but like kind of
Make him like "Don't hug me, I'm scared." Claymation. It's all really sinister.
Nice.
And like the
Yeah.
monsters have to trick people and drag them into like they live in the basement of a multiplex car park.
Yeah.
And they drag people who go and buy tickets into the basement and eat them. And it's all just really dark, really sad. A couple of times they just jump a drunk homeless guy who has fallen asleep in the stairwell of the car park and they just eat his face. Like,
Yeah.
like real monsters, you
Nice.
know? Like,
yeah.
I like it.
yeah.
What about gargoyles?
Yeah.
Wait, what was Gargoyles?
Do you remember gargoyles?
I don't know if I do.
Holy shit, that was
Yeah, I
like the
remember
best
that.
show
That was
ever.
really cool. Yeah. It was a bit like the
happened in
Pharaohs
Gargoyles?
one as well, wasn't it?
Mummy's Alive.
Yeah. Mummies Alive and Gargoyles had very similar styles. Gargoyles was like they came to life and they were like different classes of gargoyles. So you had like the big guy who's like I'm super jacked,
He was
and you
cool.
had like the I'm clever but I'm small. You know, I don't know. It was one of those things that I think initially introduced me to like the idea of like games, like class systems in games. Right? You had like the tank, you had the little one. You had like the magic user. Same with Mummies Alive. And then they all had their own vehicles, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, had vehicles.
They had different cars, and they were like styled in
I
a
don't
way
remember
that like
this
old pharaohs, like
what
tombs
was
were
weird is
styled.
they didn't understand what a TV was.
Yeah, but they
but
could
they
drive.
had these crazy vehicles. Didn't make much sense, but we could adapt it obviously and figure out these plot holes as an adult series.
Yeah,
Courage the Cowardly Dog. Do you remember? Did you ever watch?
I remember that.
I didn't watch
I
that
recognize
much.
the name. but
I
didn't
reckon
watch
that could
it.
be a good horror show.
Yeah,
I think Ren and Stimpy could be a fucking crazy horror show. If that was done in like a again CGI high quality animation,
acid trip.
that would be fucking freaky. So in itself, it was dark. Like
Yeah,
the
it
themes,
was.
it was maybe the animation style, the detailed images of like boils and
The pain,
plucking out
the
his
suffering.
fucking nerves out of his teeth and stuff.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
That wasn't a kid show.
oh,
It really was.
That was already an
I
adult.
watched it as a child.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
It used to gross me out. Yeah, because they always used to focus
Yeah.
on like
he's
suffering.
like, look at
of,
my
like,
butt, and just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
show his like fucking shiny butt or whatever, and then like zoom in on a boil or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, oh, fucking
What were
hell.
like the ones that were similar to that, but not that hardcore? Like you had like the devil character,
Yeah. Oh, that was
and the cow,
Is that like a Dexter's? Oh, Cow and Chicken?
cow and chicken,
Cow
Yep.
and Chicken was a bit like that, yeah.
and
You also had
the cat dog.
Cat Dog was the same style. Those two beavers that lived
Oh,
on,
yeah.
like whatever they were called. Remember the beaver thing?
Yeah, I remember the beavers.
I quite like that
I didn't
one.
watch that one as much.
Angry Beavers.
I think
Huh?
Gennady Tartovsky stuff,
Yeah,
like Dexter's Lab,
Yeah.
Right.
Powerpuff Girls.
they were really good.
Those could be good as a modern like
Dex-
Did
Dexter's Lab.
they not do a Powerpuff Girls in real life? Did they? I know they did. Well, they did
Did they?
Scooby Doo, and
Mm.
they did like, which I don't know if that is like TVMA or whatever. I guess it was a little bit darker than the cartoons, wasn't it?
Yeah, cartoons were pretty. I mean, they had
Yeah, what was
adult
the show?
themes in them, but they were like hidden adult themes. Like most cartoons have like little nods to adults that are watching
Yeah.
it with their kids, kind of thing.
But some of them are just like not even set up for kids, though. You know, like
Yeah,
Ren and
yeah.
Stimpy never really felt like
I
it
don't
was
think so,
targeting
yeah.
For
kids.
sure.
It's kind of amazing. It was, yeah.
Maybe it was just us seeing what was probably more of an adult cartoon at the time. Like I think you'd struggle to
Yeah.
grasp a lot of the Rick and Morty like
Yeah.
dialogue if you're
Oh, yeah,
a
for
kid.
sure.
Yeah,
Like
maybe.
not that it's super complicated. It's just that they don't really talk or do anything.
It's a lot of existential things which
Yeah.
you wouldn't really give a shit about as a
Exactly.
kid, probably, right?
Yeah.
Well, you can tell because like Pickle Rick was the most popular thing.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
probably
yeah.
the thing that resonated with kids the most.
Like, oh, he turned himself into a pickle.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
Yeah.
simple concept.
I mean,
Alright,
we
well,
say kids, but there's also probably plenty of people in their 20s and 30s that were like, "This is the funniest thing they've
and
ever
got
done."
the Pickle Rick Funko Pop.
Yeah.
Probably.
We were talking about Captain Scarlet the other day. That could be sinister.
That could be
It
good.
kind of was, wasn't it?
Marionette, and obviously when they did like Team America, I guess that's a play on that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of the idea of like these
You can see how it
puppets or whatever, but they're just swearing and
that
vomiting
could
everywhere.
be quite funny actually.
And it was really fucking good. Matt Damon.
Yeah, basically in that style, just an adult
Yeah,
version
yeah.
of Captain Scarlet.
Well, also the
Thunderbirds.
Mysterons in Captain Scarlet like possessed people.
They were pretty sinister.
Like all it would take was some fucking lights to like brush over you,
This
and all of a sudden
is
you're
the
Captain
voice.
Black. You know, of the Mysterons, we
That was
know
pretty
you
dark.
can hear
Kinda
us.
scary.
Yeah, and like the ambience they created, and like a lot of the soundtrack was very like
Haunting.
Was it made in the 60s or 70s?
I want to say 60s.
Yeah, it definitely has that vibe, doesn't it?
Maybe it doesn't. Though.
I think
Maybe,
it was off the back of like Thunderbird's success. So they made Captain Scarlet.
Yeah.
Same era.
Trying to think of like.
it was
more-
British as well.
What if Wallace and Gromit was a fucking
1967.
like, brutal, like murder
Which one?
fest? Wallace and Gromit. I don't know which one, but Wallace and Gromit could be like that. Obviously, it would ruin their brand,
I mean,
but
which one's the one with the little penguin?
oh yeah, that was quite.
That
Wrong
had some
Trousers.
dark themes in
Wrong
it.
Tra- it was creepy.
It had
He was
a lot
following
of-
them around. It's just like this dude who's just moved into their house.
and he had the robot dog, which was always scary.
yeah, the robot dog with the gnashes.
Yeah. I feel like that's just
yeah.
one step away
But
from
that
being...
also, I guess, it's one of those things which is like a family film. So you are accommodating to various levels of people's entertainment in that
Yeah.
sense. Because like you say, it's like Shrek, or whatever. Like there are jokes in there that are for adults, but it wasn't dark. It wasn't TVMA. I don't think.
I think that, yeah.
So something that would be brutally violent. Like I guess I did with X-Men. Was it a bit more?
Paw Patrol. How would you make Paw Patrol? It was dogfighting, isn't it? It would be
It's like
dogfighting.
dogfighting.
It's just dogfighting. That's easy, isn't it? Easy that. Just make it
Yeah.
dogfights.
Are there many
Uh,
films about dogfights or TV shows?
Not enough.
Not enough.
I haven't found any, and I've been looking pretty
You're
hard.
looking for dogfights.
Not
Yeah.
that's going to hit like
fucking
mainstream
rough.
success.
Whoa, shit! This is a lot. This is intense. Problem is, there's not a
What
lot
about-
of there's not a lot of artistry to dogfighting. It's just like really quick violence. You know.
Yeah.
It's not as exciting.
Could you do anything with Zap? That's a concept. Like you just got a comic
Well, I
and go
guess
into
It's dystopian. They're all surviving. So the window, the zap, you are instead of a page on a magazine, it's prison cells, and each time they're told they have to come out, try and please like this like overlord,
It's like a jester.
who then gives them a thumbs up or a thumbs down,
Oh, no, they gotta
and then they
die
get
now.
zapped. They get electrocuted if
Neil
they.
Buchanan's got zapped again.
Yeah. There's no-
Literal zapping.
yeah.
And that weird
The
creepy
electric
woman.
chair for him.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like our adult takes on everything is just like hyper violence or like dystopic futures of things,
Yeah, or
like
turning
Black
arts
Mirror
into-
esque stuff.
More
deal it.
complex.
Maybe we don't know how to be adults.
Yeah, that's definitely going to factor into it. Yeah.
But what
Yeah.
show would you enjoy as an that could be transformed? Is there something that was there
I
something that
would-
really resonated with you as a kid, where you were like, "Fuck, I could watch that."
I did like
Forever and
I
ever.
did like Pokemon quite a lot, but I think any adult
See, the
version of
TV
that
show
would be
I could
crap.
have taken. Yeah, it was alright.
I don't know.
I think the concept of a world of like unusual creatures that you can then like ally with and like train and do stuff with is just a very fun idea, isn't it? Like any world, regardless of whether it's Pokemon, say there was a world full of little mini robots and you could like choose your robot and get better at it and then go make money by you and your robot fighting together. I think that's what it is that makes it so appealing.
And collecting,
Yeah.
and merchandising. That's
Yeah,
the-
and leveling up. It's like progress, teamwork. It's like all the things that like
getting all the gym badges, which look
tickle
cool.
human pickles. Don't they?
Yeah,
Hmm.
don't know how you'd adultify that though. I think it's better as a children's
Give
show.
them lethal weapons.
Didn't
Or Pokemon is lethal. Like they
Teenage
kill
Mutant Ninja
you.
Turtles
Yeah.
kind of went a bit dark when it went like kind of real,
That's true.
rather than the cartoon. They were just
Yeah,
There was something about that which was creepy. Was it like Jim Henson's
as well?
Was it Jim Henson?
Oh yeah,
I don't know. It's just with the mouths and the kind of like animatronics. That's fucking just weird in itself. I don't know if it's like it's not, you know. I don't think it was that bad.
Apparently they were insanely complicated as well, like the animatronic setup.
Weird, yeah.
Well, I mean, like, even when they made that Mario film that was like really dark and green, it was when they were all trying to make films look like the original Batman films. Right?
Yeah,
everything was steam vents and wet, greasy New York alleyways, and like they were just like, hey, let's just take every child's brand and make it dark and real and gritty.
That was a weird film, wasn't it? The Mario one.
Yeah.
I don't remember bits of it.
I don't remember much of it at all.
There was like a big slime ball thing, which I hated.
Yep.
I can't
and then
remember.
bits of the slime could then grow on things, right? And that was like, it was almost like a fungus that was growing, and it was like their way
I hated
of
that.
It was gross, and everything again, because it was shot in New York at the time, was wet and dark and greasy, and there were steam
Newspapers
vents.
everywhere.
Newspapers everywhere, steam everywhere, which just made no sense because we don't have steam heating systems in the UK. So we were just like, where's all this steam coming from?
Coming out of the sewers?
Yeah, we're like, what the fuck is going on here? Yeah.
I think we thoroughly...
Well, certainly...
We went hardcore on that hypothetical.
We chatted.
I think so.
Yeah.
We did hatch. Well, we've got to stop now, anyway. So.
Well, I may have to soon. Do you want me to cover the last one here that you really wanted to...
Not that one.
What's
This
the
one
one
that's even off that.
Oh.
What was the
Is
one
it
you
even
were
on
really
here?
These are the
excited
top
about?
two votes.
Lay it on us.
All right.
All right, throw us that one.
I'm just going to mention it, and then that's it.
Okay.
Okay? Your favourite pet is turned into a lobster of the exact same size and no longer needs food anymore. But you have to deal with the fact that it's a lobster and it loves you just as much as it did. What do you do?
So not at all for my pets because they're reptiles. Yep. Okay.
But it's a lobster.
I probably eat them.
How can you even register
Murphy
what a lobster wants?
It becomes a lobster.
That's fucked.
That's a big lobster. But it still like has the same behaviors as the dog.
How? How does it have the same?
What do you mean how? These are hypothetical. We don't know how, but it's happened.
It does wagging its
all
tail.
the mannerisms. Yeah, it waggles its lobster
it's
tail.
It's a fucking lobster on the floor. I'd freak the fuck out. If I don't crush its head first.
It's your dog though that's
when
turned into a lobster.
When is that happening? Is it happening in front of me? Like, whoa, Murphy, what the fuck?
No, you wake up one day and Murphy is a lobster.
Fuck that, because he sleeps on my bed.
collar.
That would fucking scare the shit out of me if a lobster was in
but he's
my
like
bed.
he's excited to see you and can't wait.
That would scare the shit out of me.
Can't wait for the
Lobsters
Lobster's creeping at me with, and it's probably one of those like greenish, horrible one. It's not gonna be a nice little like
And it's got
perfect
those
red
little
lobster.
spiny legs that you feel creeping over
It's like
you.
that would fucking freak me out to the point where I would be like, I would be upset and I would mourn my dog is dead at that point.
Well then,
So you'd eat it?
Murphy would be like,
I wouldn't eat it.
Lobster Murphy would be like, well, why are you treating me differently?
I would probably try and keep
father?
it,
Yeah.
but like.
The love is gone.
Then I've got to think of a fucking. No, I can't look after him. But it's just it would be fucking freaky waking up without my bed.
Things are gonna have to change around here.
Yeah.
And it's like there's no
I'd hate
access
that.
point. What's it going to jump off the bed?
Yeah.
It's like, well, you're just kind of fucked. Like
There are very few creatures I'd like less in my bed than a crustacean. They're like mega armored super insects. Like they are.
You just feel it like kind of easy on your face.
Yeah.
Little. Ugh.
Weirdly, that hypothetical wasn't voted on as much. I don't know why.
No, it's disgusting. That it's specifically a lobster as well. Yeah. That is pretty rough.
The size of your dog.
I would, I'd try and, I'd be like, well, this is my life now. I've got.
What if you
lobster.
put it in a little?
I think it'd be easier to look after. You'd have to walk a lobster.
The dog. You could take it out for swims.
Well,
in
the
the river.
benefit is you don't have to feed it.
You take it out for swims in a river.
Yeah.
You're losing that fucking thing.
He's having a look.
Well, you
He'll
put a
come
strand of. It's gone.
Fuck, he's gone. Got like 40 meters of dog.
I tethered this fucking thing and it's just
Use a
come
fishing
loose
line.
because I just tossed it into a river like bait.
I'd be disappointed because, like, ultimately, right now I've got a leopard gecko that's fun to look at, very easy to care for. Occasionally give him a little squish.
Yeah.
And then I've got Huey, who's my chameleon, who's really fun to look at. He doesn't like being touched that much, but obviously he's beautiful and crazy and he walks around. I just look into those tanks and there's just two lobsters in the floor now. Like little
Same
ones.
size.
Yeah, it's
Like,
just
they're the
little
same size
lobsters.
as well, so they're tiny. They're like the same size as a mobile phone.
Don't need to be in this terrarium, do they?
I'm just like,
What happened to my fucking.
What happened to my interesting lizards?
Interesting
Now there's just
lizards.
two small like crayfish in these tanks. Yeah, they're gross.
There would be my disappointment would be
So not
a
positive.
lot. It wouldn't be a positive experience. No, I wouldn't be
No.
like, oh, finally I got
No,
the
it's not.
lobster I always wanted. My dog is dead. Essentially, that would
Yeah.
it would be no more dog.
But
I'd
you
try
could get
and
a-
figure out how to go back.
But a lobster that big would make the news.
It would.
As big as Murphy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
in your bed.
Yeah.
That is horrifying.
That's
I was
your
picturing
choice.
a regular sized lobster,
I said,
but it's the same size as Murphy. That would fucking. There's no
size.
tank you could put that in.
No.
There's no tank you could put that in.
You'd have to
toss it into the ocean.
This is a special lobster where it doesn't need feeding.
Do they live outside of water well?
No, this one will.
How?
And you don't have to feed it.
You can't just add these
This was all in the initial brief that I gave you. Was,
so it can still
it's
live.
the same size. You don't have to feed it. It's
You don't have to feed it. What does it eat? What does it eat? Just like plankton.
Lobsters. They're scavengers.
It's a magical
Bacon?
lobster.
Yeah. Bacon?
Fish, bits of bacon. Yeah, they just
I
eat
guess
like.
I'll give it raw bacon.
Yeah,
because that's what
they love. They love
crabs
that.
when you go
Yeah,
crabfish, and they fucking.
Yeah.
You'll get one straight away with that.
Boom.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, got one.
So it's not a big diet
Nice, next
change. So
Got another one.
easy.
Also,
Bring it
like,
back. Ooh,
if you
put it in a
somebody
big-
said they've got horses, so if you had a horse-sized lobster, that is quite an impressive thing. That's like almost
That
dangerous.
is circus level showmanship.
Yeah.
Like now,
You'd be
come
building
see
up-
the giant horse-sized
Imagine
lobster.
riding one of those into battle.
That'd be nuts.
Is there a
would be
trust
nuts.
level that it's not going to fucking pincer your head off?
Well, as much as you can trust a horse not to throw
Yeah.
you, I suppose.
It's the same personality as the
but
horse.
What kind of elastic band can you put on that?
It's like a bridge,
cling
like a
film wrap.
bridge cable. Okay, that should do it. These things are fucking scary, man. Yeah.
Knocking on the carapace.
Yeah. Okay, mate. Which is like
But even just seeing his little fucking opening mouth.
they are.
Ugh.
There's a really gross
Horse
bit
size,
in
that's fucking
a
rough.
Stephen King book, The Dark Tower, where the character is on a beach and he's like, I think he wakes up randomly because these giant lobster things, these creatures are coming out of the beach, and they just like start like clamping his leg, and like just the idea of a crustacean pulling a human apart to eat, it's just so gross.
That giant crab in there's an animation on Netflix, which is like an anthology of animations.
Yeah.
Did you watch
Which
these?
one?
There was one which was on a ship, which is like the most
Yes,
recent one.
yeah,
There's a
that's
giant
Love, Death and Robots.
Love, Death and Robots.
Yeah,
There's a crab in it, which I'm
really
picturing
good.
that fucking thing.
Yeah.
Because that's huge. It was the size of the width of a giant ship, right?
It's
Oh my God.
so good.
And it's a really good episode.
Yeah,
it's really
yeah.
fucking gory and like kind of it's
The
disgusting.
style's amazing.
But that's kind of what I'm picturing when I'm picturing a large.
It wouldn't be
horse-sized-
too dissimilar to that.
And it's just like, what kind of command? You can't fucking train that thing.
It's already trained. It's trained
He's
as much as
trained
Murphy
as
was.
much as Murphy
Yeah.
is. Okay, I guess that would be kind of endearing. Maybe it would be a cartoon moment, but it wouldn't look like that. It wouldn't be a fucking Pixar moment of, oh, it's cute. Look at his eyes.
Be like,
You'd be like, no, it's
they are monsters.
It's covered in barnacles
Yeah.
and weird shit, and it's just looking at me with dead, round, beady little eyes.
They're both absolutely
can't read this
fascinating.
thing.
Yeah, that's the thing. They're both absolutely fascinating and completely
What do
alien.
you want?
Yeah.
They are so
Yeah.
alien, and so you're just looking at them and you're like, you can't take it all in. You can't
Yeah.
use your human skills of like what's going on here. I think that's why like dogs and certain animals people like more, because you can read more, right? You can
Well,
understand.
there's an
more.
emotive. They've got eyebrows.
And those apes, I know, want to eat me and beat me to death, and so that's why I'm like,
Wouldn't it really suck to like finish this off
yeah,
if the first alien race we discover is like a lobster?
yeah.
I think that
I was thinking
I
this.
don't think it's that crazy that they would come out of the sea.
No, it's not at all.
Would it
It's not
suck
at
though?
all.
It's like you expecting like a humanoid with like blue skin.
Yeah, exactly. You hope.
You're just the avatar.
Yeah.
It's like, I was hoping it'd be avatar so we
this
could
isn't
link up
weird.
and fuck
This
them all.
isn't weird.
And nothing's weird. It's all good.
But nope, it's fucking lobster
giant
people.
Crustacean.
No, totally. I actually was thinking about this the other day. I'm like, people, we think about like aliens and stuff, and like, yeah, there's loads of different types of aliens. You know how there's like all the categorizations that the real tinfoil hat lot use. But like, absolutely, say there is the one other sentient species in our galaxy, right? Obviously, there's huge empty areas of space between galaxies, all this sort of stuff. We find
Is it
that
empty
one lucky, it might be, well, yeah, who knows? You find that one lucky meeting, that chance meeting that you manage to find another sentient species, and they're just gas, you know, or they're just like,
Oh, sorry, I breathed you in, mate.
yeah, or they just have a completely alien approach to geometry. So like,
They're a fungal hive network.
yeah, exactly. Like they're sentient and they can do stuff, but we can't really
They're
interact with them.
completely stationary.
Yeah,
They inhabit the entire planet.
They're a fungal growth,
Yeah.
and like that's it. But we know they're
You
sentient.
can plug in some like electrodes into them and hear the ringing.
yeah,
That's it.
exactly. It'd just be like,
What does a crab's brain look like?
I don't know. No, I haven't looked at the anatomy of a
I'm just
crab.
trying to think of like, what if it was just a giant brain in a crustacean case and it's just like comes out?
Oh,
You can open it
That'd
up,
be
but it's just a big old
kind of
brain.
nightmarish.
But like,
Good
what?
idea.
I've never like. Obviously, I've eaten crab.
Yeah, I think
But-
they do just have a centralized brain, a bit like
Oh no,
any
crab brain.
octopus don't, do they?
No, that's the thing. There are certain species of animal that have
Ooh.
decentralized nervous systems and stuff like that.
Images for crab brain.
See, that's just disgusting.
These are just chopped up bits of crab.
They are so alien.
It's this tiny little kind of area.
Yeah.
It's kind of just it's pretty rough.
There is a working theory that things like octopus and crabs and stuff just came from a different meteor and landed on Earth.
Oh yeah, there's
And like the
ancients, because they think that
the basic building blocks of life just
came from somewhere else.
And they happened in isolation and evolved in isolation.
Melched together.
Yeah.
Different.
I guess like DNA and genome testing shows us that we're 95% similar to like most living things on the planet.
They just have nervous
like,
systems. Okay.
Yeah, there's divergent points. We're all just a big mixing of life.
Weird
right?
shit.
We're just different cocktails of life.
And on that note, we do have to wrap up.
We
here.
do. Yes, that's all the time we have today.
We could do a whole crustacean podcast.
Oh yeah, after that brain, I'm starting to think. Well, maybe I don't know enough about it. Maybe we should embrace
Deep
our
sea
new
diving.
lobster pets.
Come on, Snippy.
I certainly don't. I don't
Stop
think
cutting the line.
Even though we've had lobster before, I'm now starting to think that it's fucked that you just chuck them in a boiling pot of water.
Yeah, that's pretty horrible.
And you make a little hissing noise as they just die.
I don't really
Yeah,
eat.
Get boiled in their own shell suit.
You look hard enough at anything.
They taste
can...
fucking good. Like shit. Expensive though.
Yeah, delicious.
Anyway,
On that note, thank you so much to our patrons for helping choose the questions for today
Thank you.
and supporting us. Maybe turn up to the next board members unlisted stream. It will be posted on Patreon as well, and then you can influence how Hat Chat is structured.
sure, yeah.
If we're going to do that,
We'll get some ideas.
get some ideas from you. And if you want to send in a fingal, much like Andreas did, hatchat@hat-films.com, please send them in. We love to hear them and put them at the start and end of our podcast. And until next week, that's it from us.
Indeed.
Have a great week, and goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Look at this.
I want that to be bigger.
Can't get my mouth around it.
I'm going to touch you guys inappropriately.
Oh, disgusting and filthy.
God, I'm so aroused. Shit yourself.